Shout out to Kopish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
Keep all the good work
the
up.
two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that guy. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kopish.
Yes, people. Welcome back to another edition of the Match Reaction. Welcome to Kop-Ish. We got everyone who's joined, everyone who was waiting patiently. Apologies for the slight delay. Make sure you smash a like, subscribe if you're new, and all that good stuff. Make sure you also do that to our brother Jamie, who's joining me. Big up yourself, bro.
Yeah, man. I wish it was a better day. I wish it was a better day.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I mean, we're not even gonna beat around the bush. We're just gonna jump straight in.
Yeah.
Liverpool have just been beaten 1-0 at home.
Yep.
Absolutely embarrassing result against Nottingham Forest. When we get to player ratings, we'll discuss people on an individual level because some of the individual performances were terrible today.
Mm-hmm.
But just on a whole, that wasn't good enough. That looked like a game where for some reason we just weren't up for it. I don't know if we needed more time after the international break. I don't know if it has something to do with the high of like the Man United game. I don't know, bro. What do you think it might have something to do with, bro?
I suppose that it was like an international game back performance. If you look at a lot of the games today, that seemed like in a lot of games, the players look leggy, man. I will say, I think this is a learning curve for Arne Slot. He obviously did the press conference where he says he doesn't really like to do rotation too much. And to go his fourth game in a row with no rotation after an international break, I think was a mistake. But it ain't all on him today. And anyway, when we talk about the players later, a lot of the players are going to have to need a bit of a reality check. But yeah, I think that's a bit of a learning curve for him today. I think he's got to learn the league he's in pretty quick. It is the Premier League. Nottingham Forest at home on paper sounds like an easy game. Of course it does. But if you're leggy in the Premier League and you give your opponents a little bit of a sniff, the Premier League's different to every other league. They will just win games. You have to be 100% all the time. So I think this is for me, when we talk about the players later, we'll criticise them players. But for Slot today, I think it was a learning curve for him, Drifty. I really do.
I hear you on that. I don't think too much of the blame can be put on him today. I know people are always quick to run and shout with the manager, but
more players today.
Yeah, I personally think the players let him down today. I don't think it was his tactics or anything like that. I just saw a lot of misplaced passes, a lot of dilly-dallying in the final third. Just no real, I don't know, man. I mean, I guess you could kind of blame him for the tempo of the game, but we just never seemed to really play with much urgency for the majority of the game. And all this nice passing and stuff like that is great, but you have to be a little bit more. This is a Premier League. You got to be a bit more on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not going to sit here and get all reactive and say, I give up on chances of winning the league and stuff like that. But I will say, which is something that's very clear and obvious, you don't lose at home to Nottingham Forest and win the league.
No, you don't. No, I agree.
You don't. That doesn't happen. If you're going to win the league, at a minimum, you win every single home game, bar maybe a draw against the team you're competing for the league with. Every other game is a win. It should be 16, 17 wins if you're trying to win the league. As soon as you've got points to a team like Nottingham Forest, who, with all due respect, will be in a relegation battle, at least until February, March. Yeah, that's really, really disappointing. So
yeah, it is. I mean, It's I never saw us losing this game before kickoff. You know, my only thing was I think I sent it to you. Like, I can't believe he's not. You know, he's gone with the same team for 4 games in a row, because obviously we heard that, you know, McAllister went 100% fit on international duty, and he comes back and plays. We know how much work Szoboszlai goes through. Went on international duty, played. I was shocked that Jota started. I didn't think there would be too much rotation. I didn't think there'd be like 8 players changed. I thought there just might be 2 or 3. I thought Robbo, you know, the ones I look at now, like Robbo and Jota, I definitely think they shouldn't have started. But the problem is, I don't know if Slot trusts the backup enough, and that's why he might be keeping them in. Because Tsimikas came on, was dreadful. Darwin came on, was dreadful. So I'm not sure if that's the case, because, you know, when Darwin's not on international duty, he is at home, and he's been doing extra training lessons with Klopp's assistants all week. You know, Chiesa obviously didn't even make the squad, but he's had loads of training sessions. I think with Chiesa, he never had a pre-season. I think that's why Slot's been a bit careful with him, which I understand. But as far as Darwin didn't start the game and Tsimikas didn't start the game, but as I say, I can't put like, I think the only thing I can put on Slot is maybe just the rotation side of things. Maybe he's got to look on that a little bit, because the league is different. But the rest of it is the players, man. Like, when I see 11 red shirts and none of them can pass to each other, I can't blame that on the manager. You know, when I got Salah, our kingpin, who was absolute garbage today, just giving away the ball, and Trent going back to Hollywood passing, which I don't want him to do. See how angry Slot was on the touchline with Trent with his Hollywood passing.
Yeah.
He was going mad because he wants him to take an extra touch. Yeah, and also the thing is, I think it's going to take the players a while still for what Slot wants them to do to compute into their brain, because, you know, when you've got Klopp for so many years, it must be easy just to seep back into that style of play. You know, we looked a bit desperate at times, going a bit direct and stuff like that, and giving away the ball, getting countered on. And we know Slot don't like that. He likes you to take an extra touch if you need to, and play it and play it and play it. Just keep possession, keep the ball. Doesn't matter if it's 0-0 after 85 minutes. Just keep keeping the ball. Eventually, you get your chance. So it's going to take time. That's why I said it was a learning curve. But I can't blame it all on Slot today. You know, I have to look at these players. You know, if Salah can't pass through a red shirt, I can't blame that on the manager. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would love to know what Mo's actual pass completion was today, because it can't have been higher than 50. He was really off the boil today. Really off the boil. And it's you don't want to start pointing fingers at individuals, as I've seen a lot of people in the comments doing, which, funny enough, is hilarious, because they're pointing fingers at the substitutes more than the people who started, which is it's hilarious. I know sometimes people can't see. But anyway, yeah, there was a lot of poor performances all round today, and it's weird because I even think we looked a little bit rattled defensively after they got the goal. Like, Virgil was good for majority of the game, and then they scored, and then we just started like heading balls that we needed to just let go back to the goalkeeper, keeping them in play for no reason, misflighting the ball and stuff. It was a really off day today. It was a really off day, and I know a lot of people get carried away in terms of their anger, and I used to be like that. And don't get me wrong, I am steamed that we've dropped points here. But when everyone's playing poorly, sometimes I just think it's one of those days. And it might seem like a silly thing for people to have to walk away with, because everybody wants answers to their anger. But every now and again, you'll watch a football match where 7 or 8 of the players just ain't at it. And for whatever reason, that's football. Anyone who's played football knows that can happen anytime, anywhere. So I think it was one of them. I don't think it's a case of we ain't good enough and the squad's rubbish and the substitutes aren't good enough and all that stuff, because if people are going to start doing that, then we might as well just stop having conversations, because that means that we can't have bad days, and it means, why do we get happy when we win then? We beat Man United. We were unbeaten 3 in a row, and everybody was feeling good about the team. Don't let one bad game all of a sudden flip your whole thinking of whether you think Slot's good enough, whether the players are good enough, and all that kind of stuff. Like, come on, man. Everyone's allowed to be annoyed, but let's not be that reactionary.
I agree.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, so go on, bro.
I just thought in the game, I don't know how people in the chat saw it, but when I was watching the game, I was like, we played all the time like there was only 5 minutes left. So from the first minute of the game to the 90th minute of the game, we kept playing like there was only 5 minutes left of the game. Like we're hurrying it constantly. You know, even when we were playing out from the back, we were sort of. Now, when I go back to the Ipswich second half, the Brentford game, the Man United game, there was bits in all them games where obviously you don't always have the ball and you come under a bit of, you know, the opposition's always going to have a go at you eventually in a 90-minute game, so you've got to deal with it. But when we dealt with it, we played our own game. We slowed it down again. We took an extra touch if you needed an extra touch. We played the midfield ball into midfield when we can, and we didn't go that direct. Today we kept playing like it was not clock ball. I don't want to put clock because the way we played on the clock was amazing, but it was like when I say the players went back into that scenario, we're just like they didn't know what else to do. So when things haven't worked, when things aren't working, the players will go back to what they know, and what they know for the last 7 years, basically, is what they've been doing for the last 7 years. So they go back to what they know, and I felt that's what it was for the whole game today. There wasn't 1 minute of this game I thought we played nice football, to be fair, or good football. I thought it always looked rushed from kick-off till the end of the match. We just looked like we were always playing with 5 minutes to go, if that makes sense.
I hear what I do hear what you're saying. I'm trying to think if I felt that way in the first half, because the second half kind of felt that way.
Second half definitely felt that way. Yeah.
I mean, the one thing that annoys me is we let Nottingham Forest really play their game plan, and I'll give them credit because it can't all be about Liverpool being rubbish. They changed up. They didn't have Elanga or Hudson-Odoi from the beginning because they wanted to be more defensive. They wanted to try and see out the first 45, which they did, and they wanted to counter-attack. And we played into their hands, which is what's really annoying me. We really that Yates guy shouldn't be allowed to play football. He's just a thug that just runs around on the pitch. He doesn't play football. He just fouls and kicks people all game.
He does what Forest need him to do, though. That's the thing, isn't it?
He does. And McAllister had a good battle with him in the first half, to be fair. But like a lot of the way Forest are playing, especially being direct, we just played into their hands. In the first half, to be fair, we were winning a lot of the headers. But then in the second half, we started to lose quite a few of the headers. And they brought on their 2 substitutions, had that pace out wide. I'm really angry for their goal because I think Cody, especially as a forward player, just take the yellow card there and stop the counter-attack.
Yeah.
That all Cody had to do was he got out the way. You know when players do that to be like,
I hate it. Just be nasty.
No, Cody, take him down. Take him down, mate. Take him out. Take the yellow. You're a forward. It's not as big of a deal when forwards get yellow cards because they pick them up way less than the midfielders. So take a yellow card, and then they have to reset. They don't get that counter attack. And to be honest with you, maybe we do get a last minute winner because they buckle under the pressure and you know what I mean. They go defensive a little bit more. Maybe we sneak a win, but they just had the confidence from the goal to see the game out, and we just looked drained after they scored. You could almost tell we weren't going to get back in the game from the moment they scored. We were holding on to the hope of just snatching a winner out of somewhere. And then when they scored, it was like, well, we can't get 2 now, can we? So this game's over. That's what it felt like anyway. The attitude didn't really seem to change. There was no creativity. And I'm not even going to blame certain individuals. I think that's the first time that Jones has been back in the full team for weeks now. So I expected some creativity from him when he came on, but it's his first game back. There were just loads of little things that just didn't happen or didn't go well.
The second half just didn't work at all, did it?
No.
I mean, if we look at the first half, I know a lot of people saying that Slot got tacticked by the other man, by Nuno today. What I was saying, that first half, Forest didn't have a shot. So, defensively, I think we were good in that first half. We had a good offside line as well. The line was really good as well. Caught them offside a couple of times. Which, by the way, I know, people say, oh, it's only because the attacker went too early. It's also good defending to catch people offside. I think that goes really underrated. And we did create moments in that first half, but for me, it weren't a tactics thing in that first half. It was the players not reacting. It was the players not. I see Mo Salah get past his fullback and then have a shot at a ridiculous angle when he could put it across where he's got two people ready for a tap in. That's on Mo Salah. That's what we're saying. I don't think it was a tactics thing. In the second half, as we're saying there, in the second half, we went to we played rush ball in the second half. We rushed everything. Everything was like 5 minutes to go. Yes, he tried to make changes. I think Nuno was very clever, making Gibbs White stand on Gravenberch. They couldn't receive the ball out from defence. So the players have got to find other ways when that happens. So he tried to change things up. He left Trent on and put him in midfield, but put Conor Bradley at right back. Because McAllister needed to come off. And he didn't feel like... He felt like he still needed that passer in midfield, so they put Trent there. So he tried things and it didn't pay off at the end of the day, and it is what it is. That's why I said it's a learning curve for the manager as well. I can't look. I'm really angry and upset that we've lost the game, but I'm not going to sit here and rant and rave. I just don't feel like it was a rubbish performance. The players were poor. I don't think Slot got tacticked. He tried stuff off the bench. And it's what I will keep saying. And I've said this in the summer. I do feel like the owners and whoever's to blame left Slot a bit thin this season. So, I'm sure Slot would have preferred bringing on a Zubimendi today if he could. What I mean? Like, that would have been perfect for him. Chiesa's not quite ready, guys. So he never had a pre-season. So he's just making sure he's ready to go. So, yeah, it's a terrible performance. Players were poor. The only thing I will keep saying it. The only thing from Slot I will say is maybe one or two changes before the start of the game would have gave us a bit more fresher legged in that team because look, McAllister looked shattered. I think Szoboszlai looked tired as well. And in the first half, I think Virgil van Dijk and Kanate were absolutely fine. They just got a little drained as the game went on. Virgil started losing aerial duels, which that rarely happens. So, yeah, I just think it's a mixture of everything, Drift, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, and I definitely think whether people want to call it an excuse or not is fine. When you go away for an international break, I do hate the fact that because the players are separated for those 2 weeks or a lot of that time, sometimes it can undo things that you were learning and things that you were, the international break has killed the momentum. And I think they've really got to look into a way of changing how the international games happen because there's another international break in a few weeks' time again. So it's just a lot of international break disruptions for the higher teams who are trying to, do whatever they want. Look, Arsenal now lost Odegaard during the international break. Like all of these little things that they've got to try and figure out a way to not put it right in the disruptive parts of the season. Because I think right at the beginning of the season is very disruptive for an international break to just plonk after the third game. It's like, but they're never going to change it.
No.
Right, before we get into...
Can I say, everyone's saying excuses, right? What does everyone want us to say? Like,
this is Jamie, this is the thing to anyone who's saying they're making excuses. Why is it that we live in a day and age where everyone just wants everything to be so black and white, where it's either great or it's shit? That nobody wants any middle ground. When you're giving reasons or you're looking into reasons as to why something could happen, you are not making excuses. You are trying to just find answers. An excuse is if you're clearly just making something up, or do you know what I mean? We're talking about actual things that you've seen, especially when you have a lot of history of watching football. You see certain things and you think, I see a pattern happen. there cannot be a coincidence that sometimes in football there are little patterns that seem to happen, and it's got something. Like for example, if you play in European football, so now you play midweek, and then people are going, "Oh, you're just making excuses of talking about everybody has to play in midweek." It's like, okay, but if your team is not used to it, or you got players who are not used to it, that could be a reason why the performance was poor in the midweek, or why you got tired to the end of the week. It's not saying, you should get away with it. You're just looking for reasons. So the whole
And also,
excuses thing is, unless you're screaming and shouting, everybody just says you're making excuses or whatever. It's like, come on, man. We don't need to just rant and rave to be angry about it.
and also, yeah, we were terrible today. We were crap, but we were crap and we lost the game 1-0 at home. So what we got to do is find reasons why we lost 1-0 at home. There's a reason we lost. What's the reason? And then we try and find the reason why we lost. Slot at full time is not going to go to guys, we're crap today, 1-0 loss. I'll see you on Monday. He's going to go and train on Monday and find out why we lost 1-0. What was the problem? What was the issue? What was going on? Who was not with it? Who was not playing correctly? Why weren't they playing correctly? Where were their energy levels? And all this sort of stuff. It's all going, So, yeah, we were crap. No one's sitting there and debunking the fact we were crap. We weren't unlucky or, Forest deserved 3 points. No, Liverpool were terrible. So what we're trying to do is find a reason why we were terrible, because you just don't wake up and decide, you know what, I'm going to be shit today and let Forest win. There's a reason why we lost.
It's true, and these lot have obviously ruined our weekends as well, because once your team loses a game or drops points in a game, you don't even really care about football now for the rest of the weekend.
I tell you what, if Valentina Shevchenko loses tonight as well, my weekend's over. I don't know what I'm going to say.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Right, let me get through some of the supers before we get into player ratings. Big up Dale. Let's just rate all the players a 0. Well, we'll get into that, my bro. But big up yourself. Shotgun. Last season's habits were on show. We were sloppy.
I agree with that.
Big up Pete. Says, what we expect. This is our level. Surely we didn't believe Slot would come in with no signings and perform better. Trent ain't smart enough to play in midfield. Josh, this just needs to be forgotten about. We are playing like there were 5 minutes left all game. All right, that's what you were saying, bro. Everything forced. There was no control whatsoever. But I would have taken off Salah and moved Diaz to the right. I'll say that was Josh, you were, sorry. And then Josh, do you know what? I probably would have brought Salah off and done that as well, actually, Josh, to be fair. Because I think Salah was definitely the worst of the front three today. So, yeah, I probably would have done that myself.
I understand why Salah stays. I do understand why Salah stays on, though. I do get it. I do get it, because how bad he is, he could just have a 10-second moment of genius because he's the one capable of doing it. So I do get why he stays on.
Josh says,
don't worry.
Don't worry, boys. Minor setback, major comeback. I hope you're right, bro. Keep that positivity going.
Yeah, exactly.
Vitu says, Soboslai is a continental Oxlade-Chamberlain. Everything one can say about Ox. So, because I'm reading it off the small screen. Hold on. Everything one can say about Ox, good or bad, is the same thing that describes this guy. Taking off Mac and not him was the mistake. We have to say it as it is.
I don't think it's the mistake. I think McAllister should have come off, because, to be fair, the mistake was I don't think McAllister should have started. Because remember, in international duty, he weren't 100% fit. He had a adductor muscle issue. So he wasn't 100% fit. So I think more of the mistake was starting McAllister, to be fair. So I don't think it was a mistake taking McAllister off. Szoboszlai was dog turd, though. But if you take Szoboszlai off, I don't know who you put in Szoboszlai's position,
without having Elliot.
Yeah, if Elliot was available, I think Elliot would have just come on. So I don't know who you do.
Yeah, he would have. Big up Marcus, who says, "Love the measured thoughts drift. Um, will more in this defeat than the victories thus far." I'm guessing he's trying to stay as positive as possible there. Apologies, bro, if I've misread what you said there, but big up Marcus. But yeah, I'm trying to be as measured as possible, bro, because we can't just have mindless rants after we lose. We've got to try. I mean, every now and again, if the defeat is too bad, you might slip out, but we've got to try and be more patient of the fact that Slot is new. I think that's another reason why I'm trying to be patient as well, because he's a new manager who's done everything right so far. One mistake so far, I mean, we can't go too far the other way.
Yeah.
The red guy says, didn't watch the game and it seemed really bad. I had a feeling our first 3 games felt too good to be true. Time to revise our expectation. Not necessarily, bro. I'm not gonna
what if it's our only loss all season?
Yeah, I'm not gonna let it push
I
me
don't know.
too far
I
the
don't
other
know.
way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes it's good to get a defeat out of the way in regards to like you learn the lesson from it. I guess maybe so. Maybe that could be. But yeah, long distance. I think Arnie tries to beat teams in their own game and how they play, but we couldn't do it today. And overall, we lacked quality. That could be a good point, and it's
Yep.
probably more to the fact that it's because they didn't try and do anything. So that's when you've just got to break them down.
Yeah.
Teke, people don't view players as humans. They especially Mo look tired. It's frustrating, but I know we'll improve next game. Hope Chiesa is available soon. Yeah, people do forget because we just get angry in the moment. You know what I mean? But a lot of the players looked a little bit leggy today, like Jamie was saying from the jump. Sammy says Sobo in the 10 is not sustainable. Sad but true. We're gonna have to have a conversation on Monday about that. And then big up Jamrock. If Soboslai is not an 8 or a 10, what is he? That's off the back of what Sammy was just saying as well. I don't even. Yeah, we'll save that for Monday. We won't go too much into the Soboslai stuff now because that's a whole load of stuff to unpack. But yeah, Jamie, let's get onto player ratings. I haven't got the chart with me, unfortunately, people, so we're gonna have to do this by memory. But we'll start with Ali, bro. What would you have given Ali?
He didn't do anything wrong. I know people say he didn't dive for the goal, but you weren't like that. His view was completely cut out from Canate, weren't it? And it went in off the post. So apart from that, I thought I thought he had decent game. I suppose you give Ali a 7 because he conceded a goal, but he didn't make any mistakes, did he? So, and he weren't really that busy. Let's be fair here. They basically scored with their first shot, so they weren't. He weren't continuously busy. He came out plenty of times, won the ball, used his feet well. Nothing on Allison today. I'd probably give him a 7, 7.5. Just because we conceded.
Yeah, I would have gone with a 7 as well. I don't think we can blame him for the goal. I know a lot of people are saying that he didn't try to dive, but I think
Canate had his view. Canate was there like that. Couldn't see it.
And not only that, we can all safely say if Ali don't dive, then he's because he knows he won't get it. Otherwise, he would have. Do you know what I mean? Like as a human, you can physically tell sometimes, that's way too far away from me. Like I'm not a superhero. How am I supposed to get to that? So yeah, I'll probably say that's why he didn't dive, not because of lack of effort. So I'll go 7 as well. Trent, what we gonna? This is a tough one, isn't it? I don't think by any stretch he had a terrible game, but he just wasn't up to.
Here's my thing with Trent. When it's not going Trent's way, you can physically see him get the hump. Do you know what I mean? Like on the screen, you can when it's not going Trent's way in the game, you can physically start seeing him get the hump and get a bit peed off. And when he does that, I think he starts getting the ball and just knocking it long and trying Hollywood passes to try and do something in the game. So I understand what he's trying to do, but that just turns over possession a lot. There was a ball in the second half when he had no one near him and he literally just kicked it out of play. I was like, Trent, chill out, man. And he was getting angry on throw-ins as well. He was angry today. First half he was okay. Second half, yeah, it was just appalling. I personally, his arrogance was annoying me today. I ain't gonna lie. I give him a 3. I didn't think he was good at all. I just them long 3 or a 4 because them long passes, man, it gives away possession so much. And he looked angry all game. Trent did. He looked angry all game. And I don't know why. I really don't know why he looked so angry.
I don't know if I would go as low as a 3. I think maybe 1 or 2 of the players are harshly being judged because we.
Whoa! What happened there?
Sorry about
I didn't.
Am I
I
back?
didn't. Yeah, you're back. I didn't know if you fell or the phone fell. Then what one went?
No, sorry. The phone fell off there.
I drifted away.
And I've been watching it all show, just thinking, is that gonna drop? Is it gonna drop? That should be better now. Hold on. Oh, there you go.
Someone said that was like our performance today.
Yeah, I think it was. Why is this thing so unstable? Hold on, let me try and fix this thing. Move on while I'm just trying to fix this, bro. Ibu. What we're saying for Ibu.
First half, I thought again Ibu was great. There was that bit who was it he bodied in the first half? Was it Gibbs White? Gibbs White literally just ran into him and he just flew.
Yeah. That was
I actually thought Kanate's passing was really good out the back today. I don't think the 2 centre backs did a lot wrong. You know, I don't think they did a lot wrong. I think for the goal, I think Ibu might have been a bit square on for the goal, and that's why Alisson couldn't see it, because he was sort of covering the angle. So I don't know. I'll probably give Ibu, because he was playing well out from the back. I think I'll probably give Ibu a 6. Again, they weren't tremendous at their best, but I don't think they were terrible at the same time. Playing well out from the back for his passing, bodied a few players. He rushed it a bit sometimes. There was a couple of instances where, he tried to be a bit too over-aggressive. He played a couple of good offside lines in the first half. But in the second half, I think everyone was terrible in the second half. So I'll give him a 6 overall. 6 overall.
Yeah. I agree with you in one regard with your rating, but then the one thing I can't forget about though, brother, is the goal. I think that he really has got to close down that shot. I don't like watching the centre back turn their back because they're scared to get hit. The whole point of being a centre back is you're just meant to just take one for the team. Do you know what I mean? That your sole job is to block anything at goal. And I was a little disappointed in him for just kind of turning his back. I think if he sticks out a leg there, he gets a block on that.
Yeah.
Outside of that, though, I think he was good. I think I only saw him lose one header. Yeah, maybe a 6 is probably about right. But yeah, I'm very disappointed in him for the goal. I think he played a big part in the goal. Gakpo definitely should have brought him down. Bradley obviously plays a part in letting him cut inside, and then Ibu just standing there. That was frustrating.
I think that was the only thing he really did wrong all game. That's what I'm saying, was the goal, obviously. But the goal, you are right, though. He did stand off it. He didn't really close the distance, did he? And he's such a unit. If he closes the distance quicker, he ain't getting a shot off at all, is he? So
no.
It was weird because usually Kanate's a super aggressive player. So we're not usually worried about him standing off. He usually, because he's aggressive, usually chases and rushes in. And for him to stand off at that point was it weren't very Canate-like, was it? It's a bit unusual.
Mm. Yeah,
So, yeah,
I'm up
if you want
there
to
at
go, if you want to go lower in the rating, I'm
that.
fine with that. Yeah.
Yeah, Verge. What would you have given Verge?
I thought Virgil was super dominant in the air in the first half. Composed on the ball, didn't really get tangled up in much. I think he was the better defender. I think the goal more comes on Kanate's side than Virgil's side. I think I'll probably go for 6. But I think he's a rating above. So if we're going like 5, 5.5, something like that for Kanate, then 6, 6.5 for Virgil probably.
Yeah. I think the only time when Virgil had a bit of a poor game was maybe the last 15, 20 minutes
Yeah.
after they got the goal.
They looked dead on their feet then.
Yeah, and he lost a few headers and stuff like that. But overall, I probably would have gone with a 7 for Virgil overall. So I don't mind we knock it down, meet in the middle, 6.5. But I think Virgil was good. I think Virgil was good. I know the defeat is really annoying, but he did have a pretty good performance. I think just up until maybe the last 15 minutes or so. So
no real problems attacking, like defensive wise, came on Virgil's side of the pitch. It's more on our right side, wasn't it, where a lot of the action came from. So yeah, I think there was a couple of times that Gibbs White was running at Virgil and he just gave up, and Virgil just won the ball back easily.
Yeah, Virgil was doing a good job of keeping him quiet. He really was. Yeah, Virgil's definitely the better of all the defenders today. Robbo, what would you go with Robbo?
See, I think today shows me why Robbo probably shouldn't have started, because he didn't have any energy in his legs today. You saw that when he was running as well. There was times when the passes, they were missed passes. I'm not going to blame him for not receiving the ball all the time, because it might be a missed pass. But you could tell he didn't have the energy in his legs to go and get it, to quickly, turn enough. And that's because, look, Robbo's a 30-year-old man now. He's been playing fullback for Liverpool for like 7 years. He's got a lot of miles in his legs. That's why I thought Tsimikas should have started today. And the performance showed it for me. I'll probably give Robbo a 4. I thought he was really poor today. And there was a bit where one bit of nice play we did have is when I think Graham Birch played the ball into it was up 1-2 between Jota and Robbo, and they let it run, and then Jota gave it back to Robbo, and he just went, and Yates beat Robbo for pace, and I was like, yeah, his legs are knackered. His legs are tight.
You know what? There was a really weird period in the second half. I can't remember exactly when it was, and somebody played a little triangle in the Nottingham Forest team, and then played Woods in, but then Woods like miscontrolled it. But for some reason, Ibu still let him get the ball first. I don't know if you remember that. Though it's like, Ibu, what are you doing? That's Woods, but he's got no pace. But just breeze him out and get the ball. It's just little lackadaisical things like that, where I think maybe we just took them for granted today or something. I don't know.
Definitely. As we say, Ibu's so physical. That's usually a ball he would go and win, ain't it? Even if he takes the man out and commits a foul, he doesn't usually stand off. So, and the same with Robbo today. Robbo just looks tired. He looked like his legs were a bit burnt up, and he struggled to get in the game all match really for me. So I'll probably go 4 for Robbo.
I'm not mad at 4. I'm not mad at it. I don't think he had an exceptionally good game or anything like that. So yeah, I can go with that. Moving into midfield, the start of Gravenberch.
I actually thought he was our best midfielder today out of everyone. I don't think he had an exceptional game. I'm not saying that, oh my God, he was amazing. But look, Gibbs White was standing in for a lot of the game. But when Gravenberch did get the ball, he moved the ball nicely, passed it nicely. He looked like out of all the midfielders, he gave away the ball the least. He carried the ball into attacking areas. He weren't great, though. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he was fantastic, but I'll probably give Gravenberch a 6. I don't think Gravenberch did a lot wrong. I'm not going to blame Gravenberch for the goal. For me, that's more of a Cody Gakpo and Kanate combination for that goal. Gakpo not making the foul and the way Kanate defended it. But yeah, I didn't think Graham Birch did a lot wrong. He looked good when he had the ball and he passed it pretty well. He drove with the ball a couple of times into attacking areas pretty well. And then when there was times where he drove the ball into attacking areas and he's looking for someone to pass, literally Diaz, Jota and Salah are just static. There's no movement. So in the end, he has to have a poor shot or it gives away the ball because there's just nothing gone for him. So, yeah, I think there was one pass that he did give away that was overhit where he did have a ball into Jota, into feet between the centre backs that he overhit. Apart from that, I don't think he did a lot wrong. So, okay, probably 6.5. As I say, he weren't amazing, but I think it was better than the rest of them. 6.5.
Yeah. I agree with that. I'd maybe even go as high as a 7, but 6.5. But like, I don't think Grav did anything wrong today.
No.
As you said, and yeah, he didn't have a great game as you said, but he didn't have a bad game either.
No.
So yeah, I'll agree with that. The person next to him though, generally speaking, especially going into the game with an injury or not being fully fit, I thought McAllister was brilliant today.
Yeah.
I thought he was really getting stuck in with that battle with Yates, which he's like twice as big as him. So that was a pretty big battle. Took
He
a
got
couple
smashed.
of whacks in the face.
Yeah, he got smashed about a bit, didn't
Yeah, but he held his own still. I thought some of his passing was really good today. He was the only one for me that looked like he was going to unlock the defense.
he? Oh, the pass to Jota when he should have headed it.
Yeah,
That pass.
I'm not gonna. I tried my hardest when I was watching the game to not be harsh on Jota for that miss, but every time you watch it back, you're like,
got to go with the head. He's got to.
bro, but whatever it is he's doing, he's got to just get more purchase on that.
Yeah.
What a part from McAllister! That was outrageous. But yeah, just winning the ball back and just generally just being very involved in the game. I thought he was good. Oh yeah, he had that header as well, which it was a good save from the keeper. I'm probably going to go 7.5 for McAllister. I thought he was good today, man.
Yeah, I thought with Gravenberch and McAllister, both of them I thought were very good. Like in the first half, I think in the second half, I think McAllister's energy levels caught up with him. Obviously, as we said, he definitely weren't 100% fit on international duty. So, I can't remember what I graded Gravenberch a minute ago. If they both were 6, look, for me, they're probably both 6.5 because I thought Gravenberch's game was good throughout. And I did think McAllister did have a very, very, very good first half, to be fair. He did control the game. And to be fair, we also lost control because he is our controller. So when he went off, we did lose control of midfield. That is why, guys, Slot wanted Zubimendi. So we have two controllers. So if one's not on the pitch, we always have another controller. You know, Gravenberch is not a controller. He's a different kind of player. Szoboszlai is definitely not a controller. So when McAllister comes off, we lose the control of the play in our midfield. And that is why you can blatantly see it now after this result, why Liverpool badly wanted Zubimendi. Because if McAllister goes off today and we bring Zubimendi on fresh, I don't think we lose this game.
Or if Zubimendi had been there, so McAllister could have rested after his injury.
I don't think we lose this game. I really don't. I really don't, because we lost the game when we lost control in the midfield in the second half when he went off. But yeah, I'll probably look at Gravenberch and McAllister as the same rating, to be absolutely fair, whatever it was, 6.5, 7. Yeah,
Okay.
They were two definitely our best players, in my opinion.
No, fair enough. I went just higher for McAllister than Gravenberch today, but I agree those two were the two good ones in midfield. Moving on to the other midfielder, Szoboszlai. I will say, I don't think he had a terrible game today. I think it might be a bit easy to just revert back to how we were treating him with the poor performances before this season, because obviously he was playing poor. I don't think he was great today by any stretch. I definitely don't think he was crap. I just think he might be he seems to be caught like trying too hard sometimes, and I don't know, like it's quite hard to figure out exactly what the problem is with Szoboszlai, but his energy levels were there again, and he was defending and whatnot. But yeah, it's just that final third. He had a chance when it was cleared off the line and it went out for a corner. I think that's the only shot he had that I can remember.
Mm.
And I'm thinking, when he's around 25 yards out, even if it doesn't always look like the best opportunity to shoot, if there isn't really a good pass on, why not have a shot? He's got a brilliant shot in him. You just take, every now and again, just take a risk. I'm not saying just give the ball away with stupid shooting, but there's times when he'll have an opportunity and he looks more to pass now, which is not his game. His game was about being more direct and going straight for goal. I don't know if it's been coached into him to be more aware as a team, which will be beneficial, but it's taking away a little something from him.
Yeah.
Overall, I don't know. What I'd have gone a 5 for Szoboszlai. What did you think of him today?
See I see people talking about Valverde in the chat because I compared Szoboszlai to, I said he's Liverpool's Valverde, and people took it totally wrong what I meant by it. What I mean by it is that Valverde is a far better footballer, right? A far better footballer. But if you actually watch what Valverde does for Real Madrid, it's not so much what he does on the ball, it's what he does off the ball. Even Valverde says it himself. It's the running he does. He runs for 90 minutes. He defends. He wins grand duels. And then he sort of gives it simply and let the other players attack. That's what Valverde does for Real Madrid. And that's what I meant by it. Not they're the same footballer, because obviously Valverde is a totally different footballer. Off the ball, Szoboszlai is very good. I understand why he plays. He wins grand duels. He wins the ball back a lot of the times. Go and look at his stats. His running ability for 90 minutes is quite unmatched in our team. So I understand why Szoboszlai plays a bit further up the pitch. I would actually prefer Szoboszlai to play deeper. I know this might sound mad. People might think I'm mad here. But if you look at the way Szoboszlai plays with his off-the-ball play, I actually think it's better for him to play a little bit deeper than it is the number 10. We saw it in pre-season when he played a couple of games a little bit deeper. He doesn't have to be box-to-box. Because I don't know what else is his game right now. Because on the ball, he's not that player he's not a build-up player. He's not like a McAllister who can get hold of the ball and build up play. That's not his game. He's a direct footballer on the ball. He likes to be direct, runs into space, and then crosses or shoots. That's Szoboszlai's game. But he's also an athlete. He wins a lot of grand duels. The Hungarian national manager actually said he believes Szoboszlai will be a DM later in his career because he has the attributes to be like a defensive player. I just don't feel like he's. I understand why he plays. I really do. It makes sense because it gives balance to the team. But on the ball drift, his on the ball stuff's got to get better, ain't it? Like you said earlier, he had the chance when he won the ball back himself, and he was on a break, weren't he? Got the break. We had, I think, a 4 versus 3. He made a great run, good ball, good running, carrying of the ball, and then he can't pass on the final third, and it all breaks down. And when you can't pass on the final third, when you've got 4 players running, and the opposition team leave their attackers high up the pitch, you're going to get caught in transition, and then you're in trouble. So Szoboszlai's got to do far better on the ball. He really does. He's clumsy on the ball. His build-up play's clumsy. But I don't think that's what he's in the team for, Drift. I think he's in the team for what he does off the ball. I really do. Because his off-the-ball work is excellent.
But here's the problem, though, bro. Because I agree with you to a large extent. If that's the case, we're in trouble. Because our number 10 isn't on the pitch to create goals. And I'm sorry, but that's the only reason I want a number 10. Otherwise, I don't really get the point in having a number 10.
They're meant to be creative, aren't they? They're meant to be creative.
Yeah. A number 10 has got to be, or at least be as Bruno Fernandes is, effective numbers wise, like get goals and do you know what I mean? Like if Szoboszlai was having the type of games that he's having, but he was still popping up with like a goal 1 in every 3, and then by the end of the season he had like 10 to 12 goals, I could sit down and be like, it is a bit frustrating, but he's contributing. But if he's not going to get goals, we can't only have him running around defending and playing well in that regard. We need more from him.
That's why you have
We
to play him
100%.
deeper. That's why you have to play him deeper if that's the case. I
What, so
literally
would you
think
play him in the pivot then?
I think you can play there. People might go absolutely mad at me now in the chat, but if you look at what he does off the ball drift, you wouldn't say he's a number 10. You would say he's more of a midfielder that plays deeper, wouldn't you? Because of his off the ball ability. He does win a lot of grand duels. He wins ball back. He does recover balls. He does recover a lot of stuff. And he's got that pace as well in the midfield, so he can get around with his legs. I'd prefer, if Harvey was fit, I'd prefer Harvey in the 10. I think Harvey is better on the ball than Szoboszlai is.
Yeah,
I think Harvey can find that final ball. You know, we saw it we've seen it before with Harvey, the little dinks over the top or the little through balls. Harvey's got that in his locker where I don't think Szoboszlai has. So, but at the same time, Harvey Elliott can't give you what Szoboszlai does off the ball in that 10 area at the same time. So it depends what Slot's looking for. It depends what Slot's looking for. And he's probably thinking, I've got my controller in McAllister, my defensive player in Gravenberch who can also carry the ball and he's big and strong and an athlete. And I've got Szoboszlai in front who can nick a goal, who can do a long shot, who can run with the ball higher up. And he's also got great recovery pace, can get back into midfield in situations, win the ball back for us and help us with counter-attacks. So I can understand why all three of them play. It's a nice blend, but there's got to be a time like we're talking about now when Szoboszlai's got the ball in then killer areas like today, and he's got to do something with it. And that's what's going to let him down in his Liverpool career. It can't just be about what he does off the ball, but his off the ball work could work deeper, and then you've got a more cultured number 10 in front who then can find them passes. I think you've still got a nice blend. So I think if we look at it right now, I think we need a number 10 and another DM. And I think Slot will have his midfield that he really wants to use then. Yeah, that cultured 10.
So what do we do about the fact that Szoboszlai cost us 60 million?
That's why he's got to play, isn't it? Because, you know, otherwise, you know.
If we buy another number 10, which I agree with you, I think we do need, because I don't think Elliott can quite handle the pressure of being week in, week out, every game, number 10 for Liverpool just yet.
Chiesa?
So but that would be crazy, bro. The guy we bring in to be cover on the wings ends up playing.
Saying that, he played there the last 2 seasons for Juventus. Played behind the striker.
Chiesa would do a much better job. But then that means we go back to having no cover on the right wing again if Chiesa starts playing in the middle.
Or like we apparently were after Xavi Simons, and he plays in the 10 as well, don't he, at times? So I don't know. Maybe that is what we're looking at. Maybe
no more Leipzig players, man.
No, maybe he was thinking, Drift, if he got Zubimendi in, McAllister would have been his 10.
Yeah, I think. And
it might have been Szoboszlai and Zubimendi in a double pivot, and McAllister would have been the one playing further up.
Maybe. Or maybe Szoboszlai would actually hold the bench because we know Slot's ruthless. Gravenberch, Zubimendi and McAllister. If you want a midfield that keeps the ball, I can't think of many teams that would have a better midfield at keeping the ball than those.
And that's what Slot wants to do. You know, you listen to him all the time. He wants you to take the extra touch, keep the ball in midfield, play through the middle. And if you got to do that, Gravenberch, Zubimendi and McAllister, they're keeping the ball down, aren't they?
Yeah. Both of them are very good on the half turn. Both are good under pressure. Both are press resistant. Both have got good passing. So all three have got good passing. Gravenberch is the only one who's quick, but I think if you're playing possession football, you could probably get away with the McAllister and Zubimendi speed. Yeah, I think that's what he probably would want. And then Szoboszlai would be on the bench.
I think that's a reason why we haven't seen Wataru Endo this season, because Wataru Endo's better defensively than all of them, but he can't do the on the ball stuff that Slot wants. You know, the quick 1-2s, the quick 1-touch, 2-touch football in that possession-based midfield three. Because if Endo, because in honesty, we could go, right, Endo's actually a defensive midfielder, play him in a double pivot, and then you can push one of them further forward and you maybe get something else out of it that way. But it's obvious to me that Slot don't rate him like that, and he needed that extra midfielder. And I think today, because we've been good, today's performance, we can now see physically that one midfielder we're missing might come to kick us in the butt a little bit as the season goes on.
Yeah, well, you know, these lot seem to think it was the right way. Moving into the attack.
I just left.
Actually, no. Look, let's get the ones that are probably going to be less conversation out of the way. Diaz, what would you go for Diaz today, bro?
4. He looked knackered. Yeah, 2 hard games in Colombia. Played 2 games in South America, and then he looked shattered. He didn't look himself. And I don't think we actually gave him the ball enough, to be fair. I don't think we fed him the ball into areas of the pitch where he'd benefit from. But again, it's energy levels. They just weren't there today for whatever reason it was. Not an excuse, just what it is. So I'll probably go 5 Diaz. But I just don't think we got the ball into him enough for him to do anything, really.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't think he was crap, but I don't think he was great. He was the one who probably looked the biggest threat in the first half. Had that opportunity where a part of me was thinking maybe he could have cut it back, but he did hit the post. It was very unlucky. I like the way he gave the goalie the eyes, saw the space, and he almost squeezed it in. But then, yeah, he faded in the second half. So I'll probably say a 5 is fair for Diaz. Jota.
Do we have to rate Jota? Look, this is Jota's second game in a row that he's been very poor in. Very, very poor in. I did say at the beginning of the show that I was surprised that Jota got the start over Darwin today. He was poor today. And my thing with Jota, and I've been on this train for a while. I've said this for a while now. People don't always agree with me, but I've always said I think Jota's better off the left than he is through the middle. I've always said it. I think Jota is better off the left than he is through the middle. I think he gets involved in games more when he's off the left. I think Jota is better. You know, Jota finds the areas in the pitch, in the box, when he comes off the left-hand side and ghosts into them positions. And that's why defenders can't pick him up when he's in the box. A bit like when Trent plays fullback and he inverts into midfield and midfielders don't pick him up because he's not starting in that position. You know, I think that's the same with Jota. I literally do think Jota's better off the left wing, but he isn't going to play left wing because Diaz is a better left winger. You either have to play Jota as a 2 up front, where he plays off the main striker, or for me, you play him on the left wing. I just don't think he's an out-and-out number 9 through the middle. I really don't. I think you see the 2 games that I've seen today, the Portugal games, you see where he struggles with his physicality in that number 9 position. Nothing about his ability. That's why I think he's better on the left. So yeah, that's 2 in a row now. I'll be shocked if Jota starts the game against AC Milan. Yeah, I'm going 2 for Jota. Yeah, I'm doing 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I think he yeah. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say that I don't think he can play number 9, but I definitely think that he's in poor form at the moment. And yeah, I don't know what's going wrong with him right now, but we need a little bit more. In the first 3 games, I wouldn't say Jota's been rubbish, but I would say he's been well below the standard that he set himself and that we know of Jota. he's not as involved in games as he normally is. I don't know if that's by design or not. But then when the ball does get to him, he's like there was a time today. I don't know if you remember a nice little dribble that he went on after winning the ball back, and he was over on the left-hand side in the second half shooting towards the Kop.
Yeah.
And there was a moment where he tried to like almost, because there's a reason why Jota slightly reminds me of Suarez, because I think they both have like a low center of gravity, bundle their way through sometimes. Like sometimes you'll watch it and it won't even be any skill involved. It'll just be sheer determination. And they'll bundle their way through one or two players and then like come out the other side. And because Jota's good at doing that, it's frustrating when it doesn't work, because a lot of the time there's a player to pass to. And in this occasion, Diaz was right there, and he could have even maybe did a 1-2 with him, but he tried to like dribble through and take everyone on, got tackled, and then they cleared the ball, and then they had a counter attack against us. And he was just doing little things like that today where everything was just a little off and nothing was really working for him. So overall, I think you're right, 2 or 3. I thought he was poor. And looking back on the chance that McAllister created for him as well, he should have done better with it. And this is the thing as well. And I'm not saying this to bring for any agenda, even though I've seen a lot of people who already are on the attack with their agendas. If Nunez, and I'm saying this based on evidence we have from what people have said in the past, apparently Nunez is the reason Liverpool didn't win the league. And if Jota would have been fit, we would have won the league. I'm not even saying that's a wrong or a right conclusion to come to. But that's what a lot of people were saying during the summer when the frustration was kicking in that we didn't win the league in the end. And from the first 4 games, if you can tell me there's anything better that Jota's doing than what Nunez was doing up front last season, what you were all angry about with him for, then let me know. I need to know where's the difference. Jota's got 1 goal. It was a brilliant goal, and I'm glad he scored it, obviously, but he's only got 1 goal. So 1 goal in 4 games as the starting 4 for Liverpool, we have to be honest, it's not good enough.
No, it's not.
So,
That's why I said I don't think he's an out-and-out 9. I know Pinto in the chat says, "Oh, we gotta let Jamie get away with this. He's not a number 9 talk." He's not an out-and-out 9. If you look at Jota's career, all his best games come when he plays on the left-hand side and he ghosts into the middle. Instead of starting in the middle where he's easily picked up, when you play on the left and you ghost into the central of the pitch to get your goals, it's easier for him because he can't get picked up because he's very good at it. When you're the main striker, let's face it, Jota is our main number 9. That's where he's playing. Yeah. He's easier to defend against because he's static in his positioning. He doesn't really play off the shoulder. He drops deep a lot. You know, he's good in the box when you can get it into the box. Of course, he's a predator in the box. But I always say he's better when he plays off the left and ghosts into them central positions and he doesn't get picked up. That is when Jota is absolutely best. And I think if you played a front 2, if you played 4-4-2, and you played your main striker and Jota played off that main striker, I also think he'll be very good in that position. I just don't think he's a striker who can play the forward position by himself. I don't think that's his.
So if that's the case then, bro, if that's the case, are we missing the trick a little bit that we could maybe play Jota in that number 10/support striker role? Because he has the tenacity, he can get involved, he's good at pressing. I know we've got to be wary of his body breaking down on him, but he is capable of doing the pressing. He is an intelligent footballer with good positioning. He does track back. Could he not play where Szoboszlai is playing?
Yeah, he could easily play Jota there and play Darwin in front of him. I mean, because Jota can play that. He can play that through ball. He has got that ability to play that through ball, and he's got the ability to track back, win balls back, and we've seen him on the half turn making runs forward. He's good at that. He's very good at that, Jota, and he does get goals. If I'm sitting here right now, I don't think Jota is an out and out. I don't think anyone actually thinks he's an out and out striker, like a proper striker, like an actual number 9. He's sort of like that hybrid sort of 9, ain't he? Where, he's sort of better coming from a wider position, ghosted in and gets his goals. So Yeah, I need something more from him as well. I think he can link the play probably better than the rest of our number 9s. But today, like, I didn't really see a lot of Diaz and Jota swapping positions. You know, Diaz and Jota in the first 3 games, what they were really good at is swapping their positions. Like Diaz would go central for a bit, Jota would take up left-hand side of the pitch, and they let the defenders think about it, like, all right, who's playing central now? Who I've got to pick up? Today, Jota was very static in his play, and I don't think that helped anyone. But yeah, he was weak today. He was weak today, and that's 2 Premier League games in a row now. And like you said about Darwin, I'm not a big Darwin Nunez fan, but we got to have the same energy for all our players and not just a particular person.
Yeah, and you can only imagine if Nunez was 4 games in now, only 1 goal, couple of stinkers. The hatchets are out for Nunez. Like literally at the beginning of the chat, a lot of people came in talking about Nunez, and I'm thinking, you really aren't going to address anyone else apart from the guy who played 25 minutes today. Like, what is it Nunez's fault? I mean, when we get onto the Nunez rating, I'll have my say on Nunez. But yeah, let's move on to Mo.
Cool, that bruise is a bit bad. That's from a bite. I got
Jesus,
bit.
that is a big bruise.
Don't worry, she got arrested. But I got bit.
What, by a human?
No, it was a fly. Just a
It
fly.
was what, sorry?
It was just a fly, like a midge or something like that in the middle of the night.
Oh, bloody hell! That took
Bit
about
me
an
right
allergy
there.
reaction.
And it just bruised up. And now when I go out, when people look at my arm, I just point at the wife. Just help.
Yeah, so Mo, bro.
Was Mo playing today? I thought that was his brother.
It just didn't work for Mo today. Today was a combination of Mo being greedy and just not being on it. I've never seen Mo misplace so many passes. There was one really brilliant cross that he did earlier on in the game that Szoboszlai should have done better with.
Yeah.
But then after that, I think he gave away every cross or pass. I'd love to know what Mo's pass completion was today.
2%. I don't know. Did he complete a pass? Yeah,
it definitely could have been more than 50%. His passing was all over the place today.
I don't know what was going on with Mo today, because Mo was in an extremely selfish mood today, and I love Mo to bits, and I do think he's one of the best right wingers around even now. But today, when you beat your fullback like he did twice, and then you go for goal on a ridiculous angle when you got the option to play it across, I don't want to hear the excuses from Mo. What are you doing? Be more aware of your surroundings. You know, Mo has been excellent in the creative sense of the game. 70 pass. Yeah, but was that the little passes that he played to Szoboszlai that were 2 yards apart from each other on that right-hand side? That's the thing.
It's 70%, 29 passes out of
40. So the thing is, though, I bet most of them passes completed where him and Szoboszlai are about 2 yards away from each other, and they just played a couple of passes to each other. You know, that could be what was the pass like, because I know in the final third, not one pass paid off. He went. The thing with Mo that does irritate me, you know, when he goes in that selfish mode and he can't, you just know, right, Mo's not going to pass today. You know, when you have that game where you know Mo's just not going to pass. He's going to try and score a goal from ridiculous angles. He's going to try and do something. He's not going to play the ball across the pitch like he should do when he's gone past his fullback. Because he did a lot of things right today. Beat his fullback twice, really well. Gets in a beautiful area of the pitch. Got players waiting for a pullback. And then that's where he makes his mistake, because he having shots at tight angles where he ain't going to score, ain't got a chance. So decision making from Mo was ridiculous today. I've heard rumours that was his brother playing today and Mo still in Egypt. His flight was delayed. So I just
You
his
know,
twin brother
when
played. He went and got the
you know
fade.
when
You know.
you know when you want to be when you want to be selfish from a Liverpool fan point of view, and obviously say things that doesn't take into regard the people's feelings or whatever. I want Mo to retire from international football because I think it adds a year or two on his career. I think when you
killing him.
get to his age and you've done as much running as he has, I think if you still think you can do international football, Champions League football, whatever, and still play 50, 60 games a season, I think you're underestimating like father time.
Hmm.
I think if you look at a lot of the greats, and we can go back down the line, obviously you get people like Messi and Ronaldo who are still playing international football. If you go and look at that down the line, and a lot of the greats like Cantona and Scholes, Giggs, a lot of the old school greats, they got to a point in their early 30s where they were like, I've got to give up the international football if my career is going to prolong here. And they, maybe Cantona was kind of forced to, but Giggs, Scholes, they made smart decisions. They were like, I'm going to stop playing now because that way I'll have a longer playing career with my team. And I think Mo, as prideful as he is, and as much as I know he loves playing for his country, if he doesn't want to go down the Cristiano road where like it's so obvious that he's just not good anymore and he's just living off his name, then keep rinsing yourself, bro. But if you want to actually be performing at the highest level, something's got to go. You've got to, you know what I mean? You've got to stop one of the things that you're doing. Like, but he's not going to. That's just me being selfish from a Liverpool point of view, innit? But at 32, I doubt he's going to retire from international football just now. But I look at his legs and I just think the way you're still Mo for all season is if we bring you off with like half an hour to go every game and preserve you, and you don't play week in, week out constantly all the time.
Yeah, look, with Mo, I think you're right. Every time he goes on international break and comes back, he's never the same player. Never the same player. And I know he loves his country. He just got his 100th cap for Egypt. But what's he going to achieve with Egypt more than, I don't know. Mo probably absolutely loves his country, and he's the representation of that country around the world for Egypt right there. And he's arguably the biggest Arab footballer in the world, you'd arguably say. So, he's everything. So I think he will still play international games. I think the problem is, though, Chiesa wasn't ready. If Chiesa was ready, I don't think there's an issue so much, because you just go to Mo, right, you played for Egypt, you don't need to play this game, go play Chiesa. Chiesa, if he goes into national duties, mostly go play in Europe, where, Mo's going to play away in Africa most of the time. So the distance covered, the travelling and all that is not going to be so bad. So if, obviously Chiesa weren't ready. I know a lot of people were talking about Chiesa today. Like, Chiesa's fine, guys. He never had a pre-season with Juventus. So, he's had under 21 training in national break. He ain't had real first team training. I expect you see Chiesa against AC Milan, though. So, yeah, I think as the season goes on, Chiesa will be the perfect backup. Just give Mo that rest. Right, Mo, go and chill for half hour, 45 minutes. Mo, you don't even need to play this game. We're going to start Chiesa on the right wing. So I think eventually that will benefit Mo long term. But I agree with you, the international breaks, he does come back a bit shitty after international break, does Mo. And we've seen it now a few times. So, and he's getting older. So I think we're a bit unfortunate we never had Chiesa available today, and we haven't really got anyone else to play it there. Because usually Harvey Elliott would come on, maybe play on the right as well, but Harvey Elliott was injured as well. So really, we got no one to come on today to give us balance on that right-hand side, have we? No Chiesa, no Harvey Elliott. You can't then go Diaz, who's had 2 international games at Colombia, play half a game for Liverpool, then go, right, you're going to play on the right wing now. Let's just go. It's very difficult for him to go and do. Cody Gakpo, we've seen, he's not great on the right. So it doesn't give us any balance. So for Mo today, we didn't really have anything to change it up to. Szoboszlai could play on over there, but he's been dog crap all game anyway. Is it going to change anything? Probably not. So when you look at it from Slot's point of view, what can he do to change it on Mo's side of the pitch today? Probably not a lot. Probably not a lot. And if he goes 4-4-2, like people were saying, who's going to play right mid? You know, Trent just played 2 international games. Conor Bradley was he was terrible when he came on. So what you got to play Conor Bradley and Trent on the right hand side of the pitch again. What happens when Trent needs to go off? We've not got then no one to bring on and play that right side of the pitch again. So it's a balancing thing. So yeah,
Do you know what? People are gonna think I'm crazy for thinking this. It just come to my mind when you was just speaking. If there's 15, 20 minutes to go in a game, as long as he's having a decent game himself, would it not be worth the risk of putting Trent right wing?
I've always thought about playing Trent there.
Creative for the last 20 minutes from that wide angle.
Yeah, could do. I think that's the only other option. But because Trent was poor again today, Slot probably thought there was. I think what we've seen today is just the gaps in our squad that need filling. Because if we had that extra midfielder, Trent wouldn't have had to go in midfield today to keep that creativity going in that area of the pitch, and he would have probably stayed where he was. You bring that other midfielder on. If Chiesa was ready to go, he could have come on for Salah, and straight away you got 2 positions there covered by people playing in positions naturally, and give you fresher legs. So I think that's just where you see the issue today. So when Chiesa, it's just then couple of areas, ain't it, in our squad, but you can tell, he doesn't like Endo. Tyler Morton ain't going to play in these areas of the pitch. So it's Gravenberch and McAllister. If they're not working, he wants Trent to play in that area because of his passing ability and keeping hold of the ball, 1-2 touch passing through the midfield, keeping possession. If that ain't working, we ain't got anyone else. So you can see why they wanted that certain midfielder from Spain who lives in the mountains. But, he preferred the mountains to Liverpool. So it's just the way it is.
All right, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. I'm going to go 2 for Mo today.
Mo, because of the size of the player and how important he is to our football club, he gets the worst rating today for 2, yeah.
Yeah, he was bad today.
Yeah.
He was bad. Right, moving on to the substitutes. So the first 3 subs that came on was Gakpo, Nunez, and
Bradley.
Start with Bradley. What did you think of Bradley's performance?
He got cooked defensively.
He didn't get anything at all, did he?
No, again, I think it shows that Conor Bradley was a right winger when he was a little younger and got pushed back into a right back area. Trent was a midfielder when he's younger, got pushed back into a right back area. If we literally deep it, we haven't really got a specialist right back. That's a born and bred right back. That's an actual, because at the end of the day, we've got to remember, right back is a defensive position. It's a defender, ain't it? I wouldn't call Trent a defender. I've always said this. I think Trent's a world-class footballer, but not a world-class right back, if that makes sense. And I don't think Conor Bradley's a defender. You can tell the way he plays. He's not an out-and-out defender. His positioning today weren't great defensively. I like Conor Bradley when he goes further forward. I think when Conor Bradley goes further forward, there's parts of his game that I prefer to Trent's. I think sometimes he keeps it a little simpler. I think he's a little quicker, a little bit more athletic than Trent in certain areas of the pitch when he gets a bit further forward, that I really like about him. Defensively, I don't think there's much difference between Conor Bradley and Trent. I really don't. Defensively.
Oh, no, I do. Yeah, I do. I think Bradley's better.
But I don't think it's like whoa like that. Do you know what I mean? I think it's maybe like I don't know. 55-45%. I don't think there's a lot in it. I really don't. But I've always been on that opinion. But I think they're both tremendous footballers. But yeah, he got skinned alive today, didn't he? He got caught up high up the pitch as well a few times, which may be instructions. That's what Slot wanted him to do.
He was playing in a back three, which is going to be foreign to him as well.
And he went into that free with Tsimikas. Did you see Virgil's face when he looked at Tsimikas and Bradley next to him?
It might have been what routed him a little bit.
It was like, what the okay, this is what we're doing, is it? Yeah. So yeah, I'll go continue saying it. I think I think Bradley and Trent are tremendous for what they do for us. I just don't think neither of them are our tremendous right backs, but they're tremendous players, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'll give Bradley a 3. I just thought defensively was all over the shop.
Yeah, I'll give Bradley a 3 as well.
What is wrong with some people in the chat today? Jeez.
Everyone's just angry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone's angry. I'm just gonna give both Gakpo and Nunez a 4. For me, I think they were both poor. But I put them both in the same bracket today because even though they didn't really affect the game too tough, I think with the changes we made tactically, substitution-wise, I think that last 20 to 25 minutes was such a mismatch of a game. There was no real creativity going on. There was no real... I don't really know what more you could have asked of the two forwards because they were feeding on scraps in the last 20, 25 minutes. It wasn't like we had control and we're free-flowing and we're creating chances or anything. They were just trying to use their pace and physicality to get involved, but it was a very bitty game. So I don't really know what more you could have asked of either of them. Like if they had some like glaring opportunities they'd missed or anything like that, I'd understand the frustration, but there wasn't even really anything created for either of them. So I'd just give both of them a flat 4. I think they were better than Bradley, but obviously not. They didn't do anything of any significance. I don't know if
thing with Darwin, there's nothing more. I think we all want Darwin to succeed. Yeah, I know Darwin has his haters, and I find it crazy that we hate a certain player in our club, but Darwin does get the flack. Darwin, though, that he came on today and he tried. You can see what he's trying to do. He's getting over to that left-hand side, trying to take fullbacks on. Trying to move the ball using his pace and athleticism. So I see what Darwin was trying to do. His link-up play and he's holding up the ball. It's just not his game. You know, Darwin with his back to goal is not... Darwin wants to play off the shoulder and just run into space. That's what Darwin wants to do. So when you're trying to get him his back to goal and hold up the ball, it's not... It's like me trying to play rugby. You know, it's just not... It's not his thing. It's not what he... Like, Jota can do that. And that's maybe why Jota plays. I say for 4 games now, Darwin, don't know about you, Drift, but Darwin looks uncomfortable. I don't know what it is at the moment when he comes on, but he looks uncomfortable when he comes on. It's like he's not sure what his role is, what he's got to do, his direction he's meant to take.
Yeah, I think you can see a player who knows his manager doesn't like him.
It looks like it,
I don't mean on a personal level. I just mean like his playing style and what he can.
It's not what Slot wants, yeah.
Yeah, and you can tell that he kind of feeling the feeling of like, yeah, I'm not really needed here, kind of thing. I think Gakpo is slightly having similar.
Cody don't look settled either. Yeah.
Yeah, he almost looks like he's been reset again, and they're like, oh God, what is it I've got to do now? And the funny thing is with Gakpo, the only way you really get the best out of Cody is if he plays week in, week out and builds up a rapport. And I think because obviously Diaz is the first team winger, I'm worried is Gakpo. I mean, God forbid, I don't want an injury to happen to Diaz, but I'm thinking, when does Cody get a run where he can build that up? Do you get what I mean? Like if he's just going to keep being a substitute, he's probably going to have a poor season. Do you get what I mean? Like Cody needs a few games. And we can't begrudge him that or be angry. Some players are like that. Some players are rhythm players and they need to play. So if he's never going to really get any rhythm, are we just going to keep moaning at Cody, but it's not really his fault?
Yeah, he's not
I
an
don't
impact
know.
player, is he? He's not an impact player.
No, he's not.
Cody's a player where if he starts the game, he slowly gets into the game. Once he gets in the game, he gets moving. That's what we've seen with Cody. But when he comes off the bench, I don't see Cody as that impact player off the bench. Funny enough, I do see Darwin as an impact player, but for some reason, it looks like it ain't working in the way Slot wants him to play. But with Cody, I worry about these two. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if Cody. Look, it's a long season, and obviously they will be getting minutes and they will play games. But the fact of the matter is, the fact that Cody Gakpo played in Europe, didn't start today, and Diaz, who played in South America with more travelling, started ahead of him. Darwin, who didn't go on international duty at all and done loads of training, didn't start in front of Jota, tells me quite a lot. You know, I think it says quite a lot, because I have this feeling if Chiesa's fit, when Chiesa's fit and running and gets moving, I wouldn't be shocked if Chiesa plays more through the middle than Darwin this season.
You could be right.
Because he's got that similar profile to Jota in a way, anyway. He can drop deep, get the ball, carry the ball, you know, play with his back goal a little bit better. You know, that wouldn't shock me at all either. So yeah.
And we've also got another situation that I've just realised as well, where I'm thinking, if you really deep it for a second, Cody could possibly also be another option for that number 10 if you want to think about somebody who can get goals. So he is another option in there, as in, like, because Cody's very good at making those last minute runs and getting tap-ins off of rebounds and back post headers and little things like that. And I think when he's being unoccupied when he's a number 9, he's obviously got defenders defending close to him. If he's playing from the left, what usually helps is that he gets the space when he drifts in. So if he's in the number 10, he'd also have a similar type of space in between gaps and lines, make those last minute runs, maybe get a few goals that way. You could be looking at Cody, Elliott, McAllister. You could be looking at a good 3 or 4 players who are actually more suited than Szoboszlai is to playing in the number 10. But how do you get them in the team in the right way? Because even Jones technically is probably a better number 10 than Szoboszlai is. Because I think they all make better decisions in the final third with regards to their passing. You know what I mean? Szoboszlai is definitely letting him down with the passing. So maybe Cody, but it's a weird one, bro. It's a weird one. There's a lot of pieces we got to, a lot of pieces to the puzzle. We got to find the right, pardon the pun. We've got to find the right slot for it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We do. Like, it's some of these players are tremendous. I've always said it. I think a lot of these players we have are tremendous individuals, but it has to work in a team at the same time. So sometimes you can't have 11 tremendous individuals. You need players that maybe do the dirty thing, the average thing to most football fans, when they look at a player, they might be doing. Let's take Jordan Henderson. Jordan Henderson weren't an outstanding midfielder technical wise compared to a lot of his people that are also in the same league with him or in Europe. But what Henderson did on the pitch, off the ball, and in a system for Jurgen Klopp, when he didn't play, we missed him. Yeah, because he was integral to what we did in the system. And the way football is now, it's about systems, and you need a few quality players, and you need a few dirty players to do the dirty stuff that the quality players then can express themselves at the other end of the pitch and get the match won for you. That's what you need. So that's why I think Szoboszlai plays. Yes, I think we can name quite a lot of more midfielders or players in our team that can play in Szoboszlai's position that are better at him on the ball. But it's what he gives us off the ball, the energy he gives us off the ball, that dirty side of the game, which helps the midfield move as well. You know, he picks up that he's got a lot of freedom. He picks up right side, left side, central side. He can come in deep. So you need them players. I just feel like I look at this squad right now and I think was Endo on the bench today? Who was on the bench? Was Endo on the bench?
I'm not sure. I didn't see the whole bench.
Because Endo is definitely, slot. No, it's not for him. You're looking at Darwin right now. You're looking at Gakpo right now. Yeah, they're going to get minutes. I just don't know if, like you said, Slot likes them like that. Like he sees them working for him. Jota playing 4 games in a row. Yeah.
The cup game coming up will be very telling, but at the same time, maybe it won't tell a story because you would like to think that he would play the players he hasn't given much opportunity to for them to get some game time. So if they do play, then it might just be straightforward. That's what it is. But if they don't play, then he's definitely not feeling them. So if anybody who's not playing regularly misses out in the league game, in the League Cup game, then you're definitely gonna have to look and go, oh, he's not fond of these guys. Do you know what I mean? And
look at Kwanzaa. I mean, Kwanzaa started the season. Yeah. Not seen him since.
Lost a couple of duels and that's it. Boy.
That's it. Game over. And when Konate got replaced, it weren't Kwanzaa coming on for him, was it? You know what I'm saying? It weren't. I just. Yeah, you think that League Cup game against West Ham, you'd see your Gomez's, your Simicas's, your Kwanzaa's, your Bradley's, your Kelleher's, your Endo's, your Gravenberch, your Gakpo's, your Darwin's. It will be interesting, as you say, how he goes about rotation coming up, because I'm saying it now, I don't think Slot likes rotating that much. Listening to his press conference, I don't think he's huge on it. I think he likes playing his best 11. And it'd be interesting to see, as you say, what is his players he uses in rotation in the future? Who's the one he looks to, he trusts, that he can bring in as his rotational players in the future? Because at the moment, we don't know because he hasn't used it, has he?
I know, man. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But final rating, Simicast.
1.
I give him a 3.
Man, Simi.
But again, I think Simicast is another momentum player. So I feel bad for him when he's just coming on for 10, 15 minutes here and there. He's not that type of player.
Yeah, it needs warming up. Simicast needs him warming into a game like
Gakpo. And then you get the best Simi, yeah.
Like Gakpo. I think they're all that kind of player. Simicast. There was a bit when Simicast came on today and he made a foul for absolutely no reason. I was like, Simi, man, what are you doing? You've just come on. Surely you're not tired already and you're making fouls. Like, what are we doing here? Simi 2 or 3. Yeah, like
bad day at the office, man. Bad day.
It was bad, man. It was bad.
Were you rating Slot?
5. I mean, we lost the game. He's the manager. He tried changing it up. He tried bring a midfielder on for Konate and things like that. He tried to do different things than we've seen before, going with that 3 at the back. I look back at it now, leaving Szoboszlai on and taking McAllister off, was that actually a mistake because we lost control quite a lot? Or did McAllister need to come off because of his energy levels in international? I'm not sure. We won't know till Slot tells us that. But that looks like a mistake on the eye now. And I say it's a learning game for him as well. But yeah, a 5 out of 10, man. We lost at home to Nottingham Forest. There's no good here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 4 for that reason. A lot of what you said is spot on, but I just can't give someone a 5 when they've lost to Nottingham Forest. And I do think some of his substitutions were a little bit stupid today.
I agree.
So I'm gonna give him a 4. He's lost at home to Nottingham Forest, man. If you're gonna lose a game at home, it can only be to a team that's actually. And again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Nottingham Forest, but even if like a Villa or a Newcastle scrape a 1-0 win at your ground, you're like, okay, they're a team who's got something about them.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
You don't lose to Nottingham Forest. No, that's mad. And I do hate the fact that we struggle with Forest quite a lot, even though we've got quite a few victories. they're always like last ditch winners and stuff like that. Like Nottingham Forest are a tiny bit of a bogey team for us. And again today, I'm just annoyed, man.
Yeah, and look,
yeah,
I see some people saying slot out and stuff like that. That's just look. Slot is obviously going to take time getting used to a new league. He's only ever managed in the Dutch league. We can't keep comparing him to Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp was a different breed of person, all entirely, right? He was an elite level. Slot, this is a learning curve for him. We knew as Liverpool fans, surely, even though how giddy we were getting after 3 games, how excited we were, and everything was looking good through pre-season. Still in the back of our minds, we all know, Slot is brand new to everything. He's a learning period for him, and he's going to have some games where he loses. What I want to watch from Slot now, it's important to me as a fan, is how Slot reacts to a loss. That's what I want to see. I want to see how Arne Slot now reacts to a loss. What does he change up? Does he change up personnel? Does he change up tactics? How does Arne Slot from this learn from a loss? Because all the greatest managers of all time lose games they shouldn't lose, and you sit there and wondering how we lost that game. It happens to everyone, but then they react and it doesn't happen again. As Gerard Houllier said once, good teams don't lose 2 in a row. So, yeah.
Well, let's hope. And obviously, we've only got 2 days before we're back at it on Tuesday in the Champions League. So,
big game, man. Big game.
This is where the players have to earn their money. But no, terrible performance today. And yeah, just you don't do that. You don't do that. You don't lose at home to Nottingham Forest, man. You don't. Even a draw would have felt like a loss, but a draw is still a point. But to not get anything, like I'm so angry now at the thought of it's such a bad result. All Arsenal need to do is beat Spurs and they're back ahead of us already, just like that.
Yeah, and we need Spurs to win tomorrow and then City to beat them. Look, City, by the way, were terrible today against Brentford. But do you know the difference is? They got a monster up front in Elan Haaland who just gets the 2 goals that wins them the match.
Oh, was it another 2 goals for Haaland today?
Yeah, City went behind at home. Brentford were 1-0 up.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. City. That's what I'm saying. I think international for the teams that got a lot of international players out, I do think they suffered a little bit from international duty coming back. But they have Haaland up front, who's an absolute monster, he's got almost 10 goals this season. I mean, what we gotta do, man? They won 2-1, 2 Haaland goals, gets them out of trouble.
I mean, look, this is how you win the league. You win the league by roughly getting 90 to 95 points. That, generally speaking, wins you the league, right?
Yeah.
So 95 points means you're allowed to drop 20 points because from the start of the season, I think it's 115 points if you was to win literally every single game. If I'm wrong on that, somebody correct me. But I'm sure once I did some quick calculating in it, it was like 115 points are up for grabs from the beginning or something like that.
Yeah.
So you're allowed to drop 20 points to win the league.
Did I
20 points is all you're allowed to drop to win the league, and we've already just dropped 3 of those 20 already. So
that's mad. That's the day and age we're living in. That you can't drop. Oh man, it's crazy.
Yeah. 114. Big up for that. Yeah, 114 points to play for at the beginning.
And you possibly got to get 90 plus points to win the league.
Well, I'll say 95 is almost a guarantee. So you're allowed to drop. You can only drop 19 points, bro. And we've already dropped 3. So we can only drop 16 points more between now and the end of the season.
And that doesn't mean we're all shit, by the way. It just means there's one team out here that have just playing on a different planet to everyone else. That's reality. It's a reality, man.
Yeah.
But we finished on 97 points and didn't still win the league. You can't get more perfect than that. It's just...
You know what I mean? Well, here's the scary thing. The year we won the league, we got 99 points, right? So that means that we were 15 points. We dropped 15 points that season. So if we dropped 15 points in the season where we were pretty much impeccable, I know the lockdown was a little bit weird afterwards, then how does it stand that we can only drop another 16 points between now and the end of the season? When we're nowhere near as good as a team who dropped 15 in the whole. So yeah, maybe winning the league isn't necessarily on anymore, but I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to be realistic, and I'm going to say you don't win the league losing at home to Nottingham Forest.
No, you don't. You don't at all. And that's perfect, man. Perfect. Oh, Watkins just equalised for Villa. Yeah, they were 2-0 down, weren't they?
Yeah, I thought Everton were going to go on a mad one. Right, let me just get through these last supers before we wrap up there. Big up everyone who's watching as well. Please do make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you get over and subscribe to Jamie's channel as well, guys. Big up Alex. Big up for being a member as well, bro. Bad performance today. Weren't on it at all. I agree with that one.
Nah, awful.
Omar, we are a rhythm team. International break hindered us. Nah, it was the subs. I don't know if anybody said we're a rhythm team, but there is such a thing as rhythm. Momentum in football is a clear thing.
We got players in our team that are rhythm players, though.
Yeah, we do have some players who are rhythm players. Yeah. Long distance. Is it a good idea to change defense or give players minutes when you need a win in a game, guys? I don't think it was a good idea to change the defense. I would probably say on that note, I think bringing on Jones was probably more of the risk because he hasn't played any football. That felt a bit like giving him minutes for the sake of giving him minutes. Not that he didn't think he was capable of maybe doing anything, but when you've been out for a couple of weeks and you played no part in the team so far, even when you were fit, I was really shocked at bringing on Jones when we're chasing a game. That was a bit weird.
He's probably just trying to change. Like sometimes, as a manager, you just want to make changes, and whatever's on your bench, you just use, ain't it, to try anything, you know. But yeah, nothing worked today from anything, did it? Manager, players, tactics.
Yeah,
nothing worked.
Nothing, man. Big up. But he says Kudus is the 8-10 we need. He plays there for Ghana.
Yeah, he's a 10. He's an out 10. Even Kudus.
I would give up on the Kudus one just just for now because I don't think we'll spend that much money. But you're right, it'd be a brilliant addition to the team, 100%. Keeping Carvalho and playing him at 10, the position he wanted, could have saved us from Soboslai.
Do you know what's weird about that? I don't disagree with the super chat either, but Slot didn't want to play him in the 10 position. Slot said in pre-season that he feels Carvalho is best at left wing. And as soon as he said that, I knew he was leaving. So, Slot obviously never rated Carvalho would still be a...
Plus, I still think Elliott is a better 10 than Carvalho as well. It's just that was unfortunate.
Exactly.
Sean says, Forest win at Anfield for the first time. Yeah, no, was it 50?
Since 69. Yeah.
Yeah, what are we doing out here, man? What is that, 55 years or 59 years or something like that since the last time they won there? Come on, man, what are we doing, man? Yeah, 55 years, that would be in it. Flip's sake. And big up Omar with the last super chat. He says, all 11 seemed out of sync from each other. Was it the tactics? I think it was a combination of a few things. One thing I will say, and again, this isn't agenda-based. I just remember these things because, as you said before, James, people just really don't seem to keep the same energy, and it's quite weird. All I felt like I was doing was asking people's reasoning why everything was just always Klopp's fault whenever we didn't play well. And it was just always not, because for whatever reason, it was just Klopp. And I didn't really ever hear people really go at players too much. It was just Klopp all the time. And then we have a poor performance today, and most people are blaming the players. And I'm not saying that's wrong or right. I'm just saying it is quite funny that Slot kind of has that. No one's got the anger towards him at the moment, so they'll aim it at the players more. I'm just like, because if Klopp did the exact same thing that we did today, it would have definitely been his fault. We would have come in and everyone would have been like, Klopp's lost it. The subs were crap. The tactic, why did he play like that? We're spamming the ball. Everyone would have said all that. So,
look, I've been guilty of that in the past myself about Klopp. So that's why I do hold count that Slot got it wrong today as well. That's why I said the players were terrible today, but Slot. That's why I said at the beginning of the show that I'm surprised he didn't make changes to the team with international break and put fresh legs in. Fourth game in a row not changing the lineup is a bit unusual in this day and age. His subs weren't great. He tried things that didn't pay off. That's but the players have got to take responsibility as well at the same time. Like, it's not Slot's fault and it's not Klopp's fault at times when players decide not to pass the other red shirt 5 yards away from them. It's a mixture of everything, ain't it? I think with Slot, we just want to give him a bit of benefit of the doubt because he's brand new as well. But if it continues like this, then obviously everyone will be going down his throat. But yeah, he was at fault today. The players are at fault. It was just a cluster shit. Let's put it that way. Cluster shit.
Yeah. I think it was a bad day at the office. If it continues, then we'll have to have another conversation. But for now, I think we can chalk this one off as a bad day at the office. And you don't have the games that we had prior to this and how well we were playing just be undone by one defeat. And I think the one thing I will say, James, that I kind of like hold on to as like a little bit of strength in these scenarios is when you lose games like this that you blatantly know you shouldn't have lost. I think it's a bit easier to take the defeat because it generally never has anything to do with ability. It's normally just the attitude of the players on the day, and that can be fixed because most of our players are professional. If we'd have played this way and it had been against City, I would have been like, oh, there might be a problem here. Because not only is it a team that is capable of beating us, but it would have made us look inferior. So I'm hoping that all this is just one of them games that we should have been more up for, whatever the circumstances were. You take it, you learn from it, you make sure it doesn't happen again, and you move on. If we can do that, then this defeat is okay at the beginning of the season. But if we don't do that and then we don't pick up points next game, then all of a sudden it'll be like, oh shit, here we go again. And then we might be in for a rough season. So I'm going to wait till the Milan game and the next league game before I truly worry, too much into it. But yeah, we shouldn't have been dropping points.
No, shouldn't be. And I hope he learns from it. Look, that's the sign of a manager. As I said, all great managers lose games. It's how they learn from them. And now we just have to see how Slot learns from this mistake.
He was 90 minutes away from breaking a record no manager has, which was 4 clean sheets in a row in the first 4 games of the season. And then, unfortunately, he went the opposite when he lost the game. But you can't be that close to breaking a record, but now all of a sudden you're not good enough because that wouldn't make sense either. So if there's anybody going at Slot in that way, then come on, guys.
Everyone's talking about Slot's quotes. What did Slot say? I can't find it. What did Allison say? Allison said we played better than the opponent and didn't deserve to lose. That's what Allison's saying, apparently.
I don't think we deserve to lose. We didn't deserve to lose.
Yeah, can't see anything from Slot. If anyone, let me know. Let us know in the chat. But I don't see anything at the moment. I'll have to watch it later. Yeah, I'll have to watch it.
And I would like to know, because a lot of people have been having a go at Nunez. Just out of curiosity, let me know in the comments if you're watching afterwards. If Jota has one more poor game up front, at what point is it an agenda for you to still not believe that Nunez should be given a chance?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Just let me know in the chat, because there's no way that he could do worse than what Jota's doing at the moment.
Yeah.
He could either continue the same thing or he could improve. So
right, I've got some Slot quotes if you want me to read them out.
Yeah, go for it.
He says, so these are the Slot quotes today. He says, what we have to do better is when we have 70% of ball possession, you need to create more chances than what we did. It would help if some individual performances would have been better. So he's already coming with the it ain't my fault, guys. You should. Slot on the Champions League game says they have to recover to the best possible way after a win. After a loss or a draw, we will try to do our best possible way to be prepared, which is going to be a completely different game, but where we will face a lot of quality. I don't know if that's any more. What else here? He says this is a different game from the ones we played until now because we faced a low block. The team played really low, and as a result, of that. We had a lot of ball possession, but we weren't able to create a lot. It wasn't good enough today because also too many individual performances in ball possession were not at the standards that I am used to from these players. So he's not happy with the. Look, I think he's having a little dig at Trent. Did you hear Paul Scholes say he doesn't think Arne Slot likes him?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, Paul Scholes doesn't think Arne Slot likes Trent because he gives away the ball too much, and Slot doesn't like that. I think what Slot's saying is a fair shout. Look, managers ain't always they go look for blame. That's what they do. And he's saying individuals didn't look after the ball well enough, and when they had the ball, they weren't creative enough. I think that's a fair comment to make, to be honest, because if you look at Trent today and the way he played, you look at Salah as well, without saying their names, he's probably talking about them players. And I think it's a fair call, but also Slot's got to look at himself in the mirror and go, right, what did I do wrong as well? You know, it's got to be a mixture. It's got to be a fair mixture, ain't it?
Yeah. Everyone has to take accountability. It can't just be pointing fingers at one person. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna have to see what happens. But people, we will be back on Monday with a Monday night show as always. And then Tuesday we have the Champions League game. So we'll probably have a preview Monday in the daytime for you as well on the Champions League game. Nothing scheduled in tomorrow, but the guys will be on tonight for the UFC. Jamie, if you want to let them know.
Yeah, so we're on Mr. Cal Sanderson's channel, so make sure you go and follow us over there on the Sanderson Show. I think we're going live at 3 a.m. Yeah. If Valentina Shevchenko wins today, I've got to get the aftershave and the suit ready for tonight as well. So yeah, we're doing the watch along for that. Also, I'm doing the watch along for Bournemouth Chelsea in a bit on my Tifo channel. If everyone wants to go and follow me over there.
Okay, yeah, big up, yeah, guys. Make sure you go over and support Jamie for that one as well, then, man.
Because if Bournemouth beat Chelsea, it just takes the edge off a little bit, you know.
Just a little bit. Speaking of Tifo, I will be back tomorrow on my Tifo channel for the North London Derby. We got the big one tomorrow, so you know, and I may even do the Newcastle game afterwards. I'm not sure, but I'm definitely doing the North London Derby, guys. So tomorrow, come and join me on Tifo for that watch along. It should be fun. Should be a good game.
It's gonna
be
busy, man.
Even more a Tottenham result now if we're gonna stay in this title race. So yeah, let's hope for a good game, good result. People, also your viewers' reviews as well. Make sure you get them into me ASAP. I'm guessing there might be a few more than normal today after a poor performance.
Everyone.
So yeah, get them into me as soon as possible. That video will be going out tomorrow as well. So yeah, until next time, big up everyone in the chat. We've lost to Nottingham Forest. Let's hope this is the last loss of the season, yeah? People, catch you on the other side. Peace.